What if I told you that in the heart of Utah, where the snow-capped Mount Timpanogos overlooks the flowing Provo River and the setting sun paints the meadows in gold, nestles a ranch that embodies the spirit of an American legend? While Hollywood's elite chose sprawling mansions, Robert Redford built something more than just a property. It is the lifelong sanctuary of a Hollywood legend who, after conquering the silver screen, chose nature as his true home. Today, we'll step inside Redford's extraordinary Utah ranch, the place where the Sundance Kid built a real legacy, one that continues to thrive even after his passing. From this unassuming base in the Wasatch Mountains, a cultural movement was born, one that reshaped American cinema and transformed American culture itself. It was from here that Redford launched the Sundance Institute and Film Festival, inspiring thousands of independent filmmakers. But his vision stretched far beyond film, pioneering a new model for sustainability, conservation, and artistic preservation. Not only will we explore the heart of Redford's Utah ranch, but also the properties woven into this remarkable man's life story. From the Tiburon Retreat to his Napa Valley estate, each reflects a different side of his character, yet all share the same belief. And what he built in each will take your breath away. The Utah Ranch, the heart of Redford's life. The centerpiece of Redford's legacy isn't an imposing mansion, but a modest 1,460-square-foot farmhouse that has weathered over a century of mountain seasons. Nestled against the dramatic backdrop of Mount Timpanogos, this two-bedroom home speaks volumes about the man who chose it as his sanctuary, a place where he found balance between a life of global fame and a soul that longed for nature, a place where life wasn't lived through excess. When Redford acquired the property, he could have easily demolished this historic structure in favor of something grander. Instead, he honored its past, preserving its character while making thoughtful renovations that balanced heritage with comfort. The living room centers around a rustic stone fireplace that has warmed generations, creating a gathering space that feels both timeless and intimate. In the kitchen, traditional farmhouse elements blend with carefully chosen modern touches like marble countertops, functional without being ostentatious. The property's true character emerges in the surrounding hobby houses that Redford added over the years. The woodshop, an impressive 3,200-square-foot building, reflects his lifelong passion for working with his hands. Here, away from the cameras that made him famous, Redford could lose himself in the grain of wood and the satisfaction of tangible creation, a necessary counterbalance to the ephemeral nature of filmmaking. Nearby stands the garden house, spanning nearly 2,000 square feet. More than just a place for cultivating plants, this structure embodies Redford's belief in cultivation, of food, of beauty, of ideas that need space and light to flourish. Like his character in The Horse Whisperer, Redford understood that healing often comes through connection to growing things. Step outside these buildings, and the ranch reveals its true character. Horse pastures and barns spread across the property, creating a working landscape that grounds the place in the agricultural traditions of the American West. These aren't decorative elements, but functional spaces where the daily rhythms of care and stewardship play out. One can imagine Redford here, much like his character in The Electric Horseman, finding authenticity among these animals that respond to truth rather than celebrity. From almost any vantage point on the property, Mount Timpanogos dominates the horizon, a 12,000-foot sentinel that changes with the seasons but remains eternally present. The Provo River winds nearby, its clear waters teeming with trout, while Deer Creek Reservoir shimmers in the distance. This isn't just scenery, it's a living ecosystem that Redford integrated into his daily existence. What makes this ranch extraordinary isn't its size. At 30 acres, it's modest by celebrity standards, but the intentionality behind every element. Nothing here screams for attention or exists merely for show. The wood floors bear the honest patina of use. The air carries the mingled scents of pine, sage, and earth. Silence is broken only by natural sounds, wind through aspen leaves, the call of a hawk, water moving over stone. For Redford, this wasn't just a weekend retreat, but his true home, the place where he could be fully himself away from the artifice of Hollywood. Like his character Jeremiah Johnson, who found his authentic self in the mountains, Redford discovered in this landscape something essential that had eluded him in the spotlight: the artistic connection, creativity rooted in place. The ranch wasn't just a retreat from Hollywood, but a wellspring of creativity that has informed his artistic vision throughout his career. Many of his most acclaimed films bear the imprint of this landscape and the values it represents. A River Runs Through It, which Redford directed in 1992, captures the spiritual connection between humans and nature that he experiences daily on his ranch. The Horse Whisperer, both directed by and starring Redford, explores themes of healing through connection with animals and the land, concepts that resonate deeply with his own life. The ranch has also directly appeared in film. Parts of Jeremiah Johnson, the 1972 wilderness epic starring Redford, were filmed on or near his property, its rugged beauty providing the perfect backdrop for a story about a man seeking solace in the mountains. Beyond specific films, the ranch has shaped Redford's entire approach to storytelling. His preference for authentic characters, natural settings, and narratives that explore the relationship between humans and their environment all reflect the values he's cultivated in this place. The ranch also became the birthplace of what may be Redford's most significant contribution to American culture: the Sundance Institute. Sundance Institute, from ski slope to cultural phenomenon. Adjacent to Redford's personal ranch lies what may be his most visible legacy: Sundance Mountain Resort, named after his character in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. What began as a small ski area called Timp Haven has evolved into a unique destination that defies conventional resort development. When Redford purchased the property in 1969, he faced a crucial decision. The land's value for traditional development was obvious. Pristine mountain terrain with spectacular views could easily have been transformed into a high-density resort with maximum profit potential. Instead, he chose a different path, creating a model for development that prioritized environmental protection and cultural significance over financial return. Sundance Resort emerged as the physical manifestation of Redford's values. Unlike typical ski destinations with their massive hotels and condominiums, Sundance maintained human scale and architectural integrity. Buildings were tucked among existing trees rather than clearing forests. Native materials, stone, timber, glass, created structures that complemented rather than competed with the natural environment. The resort became not just a place for recreation, but for creativity and learning. Art studios offered classes in everything from pottery to glassblowing, taught by master craftspeople who kept traditional techniques alive. Performance spaces hosted theater, music, and dance that explored the relationship between humans and their environment. Restaurants pioneered farm-to-table dining long before it became fashionable, sourcing ingredients from local producers and the resort's own garden. Perhaps most significantly, Sundance became the birthplace of what would grow into the Sundance Institute and Film Festival. What began as informal gatherings of filmmakers on Redford's property evolved into structured workshops where emerging artists could develop their craft away from commercial pressures. These humble beginnings, a few cabins, some basic equipment, and a commitment to independent voices, grew into the premier platform for independent cinema worldwide. The Sundance Film Festival, now held primarily in nearby Park City, has launched countless careers and introduced audiences to groundbreaking works that might never have found distribution through traditional channels. Films like Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Reservoir Dogs, Little Miss Sunshine, and Get Out all found their footing at Sundance, forever changing the landscape of American cinema. What makes this cultural impact even more remarkable is that it emerged not from New York or Los Angeles, but from this mountain sanctuary in Utah. Redford understood that creativity doesn't require urban centers or industry infrastructure. It needs space, community, and connection to something authentic. By grounding the Institute in this specific place, with its natural beauty and removed from industry pressures, he created conditions where artistic innovation could flourish. The environmental ethic, stewardship in practice. Long before environmentalism became mainstream, Redford approached his ranch with a steward's mindset, understanding that humans don't own the land, they belong to it. Rather than maximizing profit through extensive development, he chose to preserve the natural character of his property. The Provo River running through his land was treated as a living system, with protected riparian zones and maintained native vegetation. Forest management preserved the natural mix of aspen, pine, and fir, with selective thinning that mimicked natural processes. Dead trees remained standing as habitat for woodpeckers and other wildlife. Throughout the year, wildlife moved through the property as it had for centuries. Mule deer browsed at dawn and dusk. Elk bugled in the fall rut. Coyotes sang their eerie chorus under the moon. Golden eagles and red-tailed hawks soared on thermal updrafts. Even the occasional black bear or mountain lion might pass through the higher elevations, reminders that this was still wild country. Redford designed every aspect of the ranch with these creatures in mind, from migration-friendly fencing to grazing practices that protected ground-nesting birds. Even the timing of human activities was adjusted to minimize disturbance during sensitive periods like nesting season or winter stress. This environmental consciousness extended to the built environment through energy-efficient renovations and sustainable materials. Redford's advocacy wasn't abstract but rooted in his daily experience of this specific place. From opposing excessive canyon development to championing clean energy, his activism grew organically from his connection to the land, creating a living example of the balanced human-nature relationship he advocated throughout his life. The Tiburon Retreat, Finding Peace by the Bay. While Utah remained the spiritual center of Redford's world, his property portfolio extended to very different landscapes. In 2020, after a search lasting more than a year, Redford and his wife Sabeel Sagers purchased a home in Tiburon, California, for $3.1 million, creating a coastal complement to their mountain sanctuary. Perched on a quiet cul-de-sac overlooking Keel Bay and Angel Island, this 2,224-square-foot residence offered a dramatically different environment from the Utah ranch. Here, the rhythms of tide and fog replaced mountain seasons. Seabirds called instead of eagles. Ocean breezes carried salt rather than pine. For a couple who spent decades in the mountains, this Bay Area retreat provided a new kind of natural connection. The four-bedroom home wasn't ostentatious by celebrity standards, but in Tiburon, where water views command premium prices, it represented a thoughtful investment in quality of life. The property's greatest asset was its relationship to the surrounding landscape. A large deck and yard faced south and east, capturing sunlight from dawn through midday. Redford and Sagers enhanced these outdoor spaces, creating what they described as a seamless flow between interior and exterior living areas. Here, they could enjoy morning coffee while watching fog lift from the bay, or spend evenings tracking the changing light as the sun set behind Angel Island. Inside, the design balanced mid-century modern elements with coastal influences. Open rooms with expansive windows maximized natural light and framed water views. The color palette reflected the surrounding environment, blues, grays, and warm neutrals that echoed sky, water, and hillside. The family room served as the home's heart, while practical spaces like the two-car garage and front garden added functionality without ostentation. What made this property special wasn't extravagance, but intimacy. Unlike the Utah ranch with its expansive landscapes and multiple structures, the Tiburon home offered a more contained experience. It was a place where the couple could enjoy proximity to cultural offerings while maintaining the privacy and natural beauty that had always been priorities. The contrast between this coastal retreat and the mountain ranch speaks to different facets of Redford's character. His appreciation for varied landscapes, his understanding that different environments nurture different aspects of creativity and well-being, and his consistent preference for authentic places over status symbols. The St. Helena Estate, wine country, elegance. Completing Redford's property portfolio was his Napa Valley estate in St. Helena, California. Purchased in 2004, this 10-acre property represented yet another distinctive environment, the rolling hills and vineyard-covered valleys of America's premier wine region. The main residence spanned 5,200 square feet, offering more space than either his Utah or Tiburon homes. Built in 1983, the three-bedroom house embraced its hillside setting, with architecture that maximized views of the surrounding vineyards and mountains. Like all of Redford's properties, this one emphasized connection to landscape rather than imposing upon it. Inside, the design balanced sophistication with warmth, a spacious living room centered around a stone fireplace, creating a gathering place reminiscent of the Utah ranch's heart. The kitchen and dining areas were designed for entertaining, reflecting the social nature of wine country living. A formal dining room accommodated larger gatherings, while a cozy family room provided space for intimate conversations. The master suite featured floor-to-ceiling windows that framed vineyard vistas, bringing the landscape into the most private spaces. A private terrace extended the bedroom outdoors, offering a place to begin and end each day in direct connection with nature. The adjoining spa bathroom added a touch of luxury while maintaining the home's overall sense of understated elegance. Outdoor spaces enhanced the property's appeal. A swimming pool and cabana provided relief from Napa's summer heat. A vegetable garden supplied fresh produce, connecting the household to the agricultural traditions that define the region. Private hiking trails wound through the property, offering exercise and contemplation in equal measure. The estate included several additional structures that reflected Redford's varied interests. An art studio provided space for creative pursuits, particularly important given his wife's career as an environmental artist. A detached garage and workshop accommodated practical needs, while a smaller garage offered additional storage. What distinguished this property wasn't excessive luxury, but thoughtful integration with its surroundings. Like a fine wine, it expressed the character of its terroir, the specific combination of soil, climate, and tradition that makes Napa Valley unique. The estate embodied the region's blend of agricultural heritage and cultural sophistication, offering a lifestyle that honored both. The legacy? A vision that endures. With Redford's passing last month at the age of 89, his ranch empire stands as a physical testament to his values and vision. Through conservation easements, nonprofit foundations, and careful planning, he ensured his properties would maintain their essential character. The Sundance Institute continues nurturing independent filmmakers, the Redford Center advances environmental storytelling, and Sundance Resort operates under guidelines preserving its commitment to sustainability. But his most important legacy is the example he set, demonstrating that development doesn't have to destroy what makes a place special, that commercial success doesn't require compromising values, and that true luxury isn't about excess, but about alignment with deeper purpose. If you enjoyed this journey through his remarkable properties, please like and subscribe for more explorations of extraordinary places and the visionaries who shaped them.